And come on.
Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jessy Martin.
Because 90% of them are wrong. They're fucking wrong.
Max Taman.
You've got a plate of shit and you've got a bowl of shit. They're the same thing.
Scott Hartley.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
John Taman.
What the hell was I talking about?
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And now, the world's worst podcast host, John Taman.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a wonderful Tuesday afternoon in June where you could have been doing anything else but watching this podcast, except you're not. You're here. You're watching the podcast. We appreciate it. As you can see, it is fucking awesome hat day here on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast in deference to our good friend down there and special guest, Deuce the man, the DC, Mr. DC down here, Red Zone in the lab. Deuce, how are you, my friend? We're going to start with you right off the bat.
Doing good. Always glad to join you guys.
I think Jesse's hat's too big. It pulled him off the screen. There he is. Here's my good friend over there. Let's see. I got to pull up all my stuff here. Over here, for my good friend from Southeastern Virginia. That's my friend Jessy Martin. How you doing, Jessy?
Yo, what up?
Good to see you. Glad you could stop.
You know what's fun? Like, okay, so I got a whole new setup. Just for our weekday shows, and it doesn't fucking work. So I thought I got the problem fixed.
Okay.
Wait, I thought I got the problem fixed, and the damn I forgot to plug it in, and it was dead. So my iPad is dead.
Telling you what.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you get yourself a new iPad and it fills up with porn too fast, and but those things don't have a whole lot of space. I know. See, Deuce is already shaking his head. We don't have the algorithm problems here. We're not worried about it. We will use foul language, and we will talk about dicey things here. Speaking of dicey things, how's my good friend down there, the ambassador, the international fan of the year from the Royal Port of Barrow, Scotty Hartley. Deuce, you ever notice in that right there, that little video right there, that Scott's got a Band-Aid on his ear? Here, watch.
Yeah, I have. It's because the barber cut my ear.
That's what I would have said. Now, see, you'll never notice anything else again, except that Scott's got a Band-Aid on his ear in that video, which I've got a theory, Jesse. This is the age of Twitter and the internet, so I have a theory. All right. Scott, through his various contacts, paid some loser to shoot at him and miss his ear so that he could become the international fan of the year. And there maybe instead of wearing cool hats, we ought to put a little tampon on our ear.
Maybe that's the way.
We are 3 minutes into this, and you're already going. 3 minutes.
Well, dude, I can't help it. I have my happy hat on. Hail to it. So, how are you, Scott?
I'm good, mate. Thank you for having me on, as always. Good to be with you, gentlemen. It's good.
Right. Now, last week, you did break your streak. Now, Deuce, I don't know if you know this or not, but Scott set the Podcast International World Record for consecutive guest appearances on this podcast.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
"What?
Having me?" I'm like,
prior to Scott, I think you were in the lead with one. So Scott has annihilated that by like 600. But he couldn't be with us last time. And trust me, man, people wrote to us. People said, what is the matter with the international fan? And I told them, I said, look, he's got responsibilities now.
I haven't at all. What is going on? I have a family. That's about it. Yeah.
Fall off my head. Oh, there it goes. It's just not going to work with the headphones. But
and I feel bad that Deuce is on because I would have shouted out Red Zone in the lab, but I had 40 seconds, so I was timed. So it's like,
while you were on stage?
Yeah, I was told you got 40 seconds. Go. I was like, oh, okay. How do I cut this down more?
Hey, James, how you doing, buddy? Deuce, got a question to ask you.
Yes.
Are you going to Madrid?
No, I am not going to Madrid.
No.
Let me tell you why.
He doesn't have he doesn't have a Matador hat. That's why.
Like anything can change, right? But my wife, I have to break up 4.5-hour flights.
Yeah, there's no stopping point in the middle of the Atlantic.
So like there's no. She's like there's nowhere to stop in the no. There's nowhere. Like every flight, I don't care how many stops you have, it's 8 hours minimum.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like
welcome to my world, Deuce.
Yeah, I get it. And if I do go, I'm gonna have to make sure that like she's in business class. So I'm kind of still working on it, but I don't.
Well, I'll tell you what. Two things. One, there's the Azores. You can stop off at the Azores if you go the southern route. And two, this just goes to show you how goddamn inconsiderate these Europeans are. They could be fucking closer, but no, they got to be all the way across the goddamn ocean. People want to go to the game.
I'll just move the island. It's fine. Don't worry.
There you go. All right, so it is June the 3rd, which means there's absolutely nothing going on except for OTAs and minicamps, which means absolutely nothing is going on of any fan value. But I will say this. We're here to discuss whatever fan value we can squeeze out of that turnip. So we will start with our special guest, Deuce, because I lost my hat. Dude, as a fan, and as a content creator, what do you get out of OTAs and minicamp? What are you looking for?
I guess, especially for the rookies and the new players, you want to establish the base, the foundation of your culture and what you want to do. Establish the rules, the do's and the don'ts. Like you want to be able to establish all of those things with those guys because they're going to be learning it throughout the next few months. So that's one of the base things you want to establish, and then you want to know who can do what, right? Like you can watch all the tape that you want and all this and that. I know they just out there with shorts and jerseys on or whatever, but this is the time to really see what a player can really do. This is the time to kind of experiment. Can they do this? Can they do that? Because I really believe a lot of what we see is not. There's more to it than that, right? They're trying different things out. People here, people there. So, but I think the most important thing about it is establishing the new players that's joining the team. And making sure all of the playbook that you should be comfortable with, like you're still comfortable with, right? You still understand it, concepts, terminology, all of those things. So now we can start adding in new wrinkles. So
you've been off a couple of months, right? It's like coming back to school in September. They got to teach you last year real fast. So let's say you come to the park and you see that Jeremy Reeves has parked his car over 2 spaces. Do you know this is something he can't do? You just go, man, this motherfucker can't park. And do you just expect that all year long? Or do you kind of get a little bit of a leeway?
But I know that Jeremy Reeves thinks
he can park where he wants. He's an all-pro. Scotty, what are you looking for? You're a 1-point safety show. Of course, by the way, Red Zone in the Lab, you can find it everywhere. And 1-point, it's the internet. You can find that everywhere too.
Oh, no. I thought I froze there, but I'm okay. What am I looking for out of training camp? The same pretty much as Deuce. It's about culture building at the moment with the rookies coming in. It's also about who can do what. It's seeing what these undrafted free agents, if they've got any juice, anything that can happen with them. And then establishing the new culture, if you like, from the older veteran players that we traded for or that have come in to make sure that they're still on point and they're learning the playbook and learning how to fit into being a Washington Commander.
So with that, does somebody like Laramie Tunsil not be in there bug you, Jesse?
Not at all.
I'm like on television. Jesse, what do you tell me? You.
No.
Well, what about you, Scott?
It
doesn't
bug me whatsoever.
Okay. I always like how the best part comes through. Scotty, what about you? Does it bug you at all when you say that? Like a new guy.
My son was calling.
Oh, all right. So yeah, we got that. It doesn't bug you at all about Laramie Tunsil, but I'm just going off of what Scott says about getting these older free agents in here, get them on the same page. So a guy like Tunsil doesn't bug you?
No, because I think being an All-Pro and being a 5-time Pro Bowler, what does he need to learn apart from this is how you tackle. You don't need to go through training with him on pad level. You don't need to go through training with him on how to do things. He knows where his spot is. Yes, it'd be nice for him to meet the other players and get that camaraderie as you do with the offensive line, but I'm not worried about that at all. If you're a veteran player who's been in this league for a long time, I don't think it really matters, especially because they are voluntary. That's the whole thing. If it was mandatory camp, I'd be a bit more, but because it's voluntary, I'm not fussed at all about it.
So, Deuce, two-part question based off of what Scotty just said. Do you think Laramie Tunsil needs to learn how to tackle? And, oh, shit, I forgot the second part.
Let's hope not.
Are you at all shocked by the Weasley back-turning, spineless crap that you just heard out of both of these gentlemen that immediately forgave the big trade? Oh, yeah, I mean, everybody but him. Everybody but him. All right, I'm just fucking around. Like I said, it's freaking June the 3rd, man. I really don't have much to go on. There's not a whole lot to talk about. I think I just burned up all my questions right there. So I'll just throw it out for a free
when it regards to Lattimore, Tunsil, and Terry McLaurin, every one of those three players have been in the league for such a long time. It's voluntary. If it was a rookie, you guys knew I was upset with Chase Young a couple years back. He was a young player, but he just, became a captain of the team. That's, where I was really upset with it. He was young. It was like his second year, and he was going off to film a commercial, or The Price is Right, or one of the two, Family Feud, or something that he was doing. But Terry, we know the issue with Terry. It could be a something with the contract, and it's understandable. They've all been there all off season. That's a fact. Not being there for the first part of phase 2 of the voluntary workouts is not that big of a deal.
Right. For me, Lattimore, if he was healthy, if he had a healthy season, or at least he was healthy from the point that he came here, he didn't have any whines or boo-boos, then I'd want him there. But since he's still Mr. Crystal, take it easy.
Like Terry, with Lattimore, for me, with Lattimore, I don't want to see him on the field until training camp, to be honest with you. I don't want him to be on the field to chance, him tweaking a hamstring again.
What's up, Homer? What's going on? I shouldn't call him Homer. He's the DC Homer. That's a big difference.
What's going on?
Yeah, we'll call him Lord Tewksbury. Lord Tewksbury. We're far from cut. Who would be your surprise cut? Who would I want cut? Now that's a tougher question this year. Who would I want cut? Who goes? Who would you?
Yeah,
want
I don't have anybody that I want cut. I like the roster that's forming. We don't have a Benjamin St. Just on the roster anymore. We don't have. No,
I noticed how you went there straight away.
There's I don't have a player in my mind like last year. I kind of wanted Derek Forrest to be cut. I wasn't big on Derek Forrest, but I just there's not a player. It's not that I wanted Derek Forrest to be cut. I just felt like he was going to be cut. I just didn't see a spot for him. Let me rephrase that a little.
No, I think you wanted him to be cut. You didn't like him. You thought that he was. I will remind you that we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary where Jesse and I damn near came to blows through this screen somehow over Emmanuel Forbes and the awesome year that Jesse was telling me he was going to have.
I didn't go that far.
Well,
maybe not go that far.
Not that far. I mean, you didn't call my mother any names or anything like that, but it was getting close. Anyway, you had something else you were saying before I broke you off. Sorry.
Lattimore's DC Homers put out a question. Lattimore, is he even making? Yeah, he's making the team. Yeah. Of course he is. 100%. Yeah.
DC, James is surprise cut.
Yeah. Fun fact: Derek Forrest blocked me last year, and I don't know why.
They blocked me too. He blocked me too.
I don't even know why. I'll try to figure out. But somebody said it's some type of algorithm. If you block someone and they're friends with someone else or something like that, you automatically block them.
That's
It
true.
was
I don't
funny
know.
because I was having a conversation with someone on X, and it was pertaining to Derek Forrest because he said that Derek Forrest was going to be the starter. I was like, I don't see any playing time for Derek Forrest. I said he's more likely to be cut than to get playing time, and
He
it
said
was kind of
Derek
going back
Forrest
and forth
stick
like
a
that.
banana in his jockstrap to make this team. That's what he said.
Like I never really had a conversation about him. I don't think I did on the timeline, but I know on the podcast you say, he's not what people think he is, right?
Right.
And there's
Right.
a reason why he's
Yeah.
not playing. He's not getting playing time. I mean, even over Percy Butler, with most of the fan base hates, he's not even getting playing time over. So once he got that chance, I said, all right, we're gonna see. And he went out there, did exactly what I thought he would do. So
Right.
that's
It's probably where he
my
can
surprise. That's
Sorry,
my
he's got it.
surprise cut. Percy Butler. I think he might be the one who goes. Depending on what we have in the room. I mean, there's a couple of safeties who come in as undrafted free agents. Tyler Owens might have a bigger role this year, playing safety. And then James brought up a good question here about running backs who gets cut. Especially after drafting Krosky Merritt. It's weirdly enough, James. I'm with you. O-line and running back rooms, we've always been looking at O-line going, who's this bum off the street who we're getting in after probably 2 or 3 months. Right. Now we've got proper depth, which is someone's going to get cut off that O-line, and I think that C-Rod might be the guy who ends up going because they like what what is it, not Wiley?
You're talking about a running back, and you're talking about
McNichols. I mean,
McNichol. Thank you.
McNichols,
Sorry,
yeah.
Wiley was 4th choice last year.
Right, Wiley was last year's. Look at this bum we got off the street. The thing about McNichols and C-Rod that ties into Krosky Merritt, I like Krosky Merritt because I think that from the limited stuff I've seen of him, which is what this whole show is about, talking about limited shit. I like his skill set. I like what I've been able to see him do. And dude, this is what we do in June, Scotty. And the fact that he did not play a whole season last year is a plus in as far as I'm concerned. He's a running back, all right? He didn't take a year's worth of punishment. And as long as he can if we can create those cutback lanes, when you see those video of what he can do in small spaces, this is the NFL. The space might be smaller, but then again, it might be a lot bigger. If you can create some space for him. But what I read about him in minicamp or OTA last week or whatever was that his pass blocking needs work, and that is where the other two excel. So it'll be interesting to see. So you don't think he's going to have any role this year at all? Oh,
probably not this year. I like Krosky Merritt for the future, but I think he's got to get the pass blocking down. That's his number one thing that he's got to do because he's got the rest of the tools, but he's not going to be put on the field if there's a chance he can't protect Jaden Daniels. That's the diamond that we are protecting, and you need to have all your guns out there. And I just don't see a role for him right now. He was a 7th round draft pick. If need be, they could probably stick him on the practice squad and he'll stay. But I'm hoping to maybe later on in the season get some reps for him. Maybe some games that aren't really that. Maybe if we close out a game in the 3rd quarter or something like that, just to get him some experience. But yeah, they're not going to put him on the field if they don't feel comfortable enough to have him block for Jaden.
Deuce, what are you thinking about that?
Look, C-Rob was cut 12 times last year.
Yes, he was.
I don't know why the fan base loves him so much, right? Like he
I don't either.
He was cut 12 times last year. So like, and
he survives it. That's why, because we know if we throw him out there, he's coming back.
Or they it was no one else wanted him either.
True.
Right? Not only was he cut 12 times, no other team wanted him. So
that's right.
So when it comes to JCM, I agree. Like the pass blocking is going to have to understand the pass blocking. And I think they like McNichols from what he can do as far as backup. Right, he can catch out the backfield, he can run in between the tackles. He can do those things, and he was successful in his offense last year.
He blocked like Clinton
as
Portis.
a running back 3, right? Like a lot of times we get caught up and looking at players as starters, right? Like they're not starters.
Mm-hmm.
We can't look at everyone as a starter because they're not. Now, if I tell you, look at McNichols as a running back 3 across the league. Now how do you view him, right? Like, so a lot of times we just got to look at the roster and not look at everyone as a starter because everyone is not a starter. JCM, I really like him. He has great tape. And they really like him. And I think they brought him in and they talked to him like 4 or 5 times. So that was somebody that they really wanted and they were able to get. So I think he plays, but like Jesse was saying, it depends when he plays. And how comfortable they are with him in there. But I could see him in some 2-back sets with Eckler if he beats McNichols.
Now, Eckler,
he was one of my favorite picks. JCM was one of my favorite picks in the whole draft. Let me get that out there. I really do like him. I just don't. A lot of people think that he was picked to take Brian Robinson's spot. Sorry, that's just not happening.
All right, well, real quick then, Scotty, give me something about that. Tell me where you're sitting with Brian Robinson as opposed to that, real quick, while I make a note about what I just thought about and I'm probably going to forget before I get my paper out.
I thought he had a down year last year, but it's not his fault he had a down year. As we talked about before, was it the offensive line not creating the holes, or was it the fact that Brian Robinson's running up the back of an offensive lineman? A bit of both, maybe. Maybe there's a bit of both in there. Dude, that's causing issues.
He does. He runs up the back of those guys like he's a freaking mad dog in a homo house. And sorry to say it that way, but that's what he's ready to jump on a leg anywhere he can find it.
I would put more on the offensive line than I would Brian. Now, listen, you're right. Sometimes he does, but I think it's more. If you go look at Brian Robinson in the beginning of the year, man, he was great.
Yeah,
he was great. But as the year went on, the offensive line played a lot worse. And I still think Brian Robinson was probably nicked up too.
He was nicked up all year after probably about week 5. But even the play when we were at the Giants game, where he broke it out and he made his biggest run of the year, he ran right into a big knot of people. The difference is that this time he did the one time that you don't ever see him do, which is to try to break it off and get outside, go to daylight instead of just try to shove it. So what do you see, Deuce? You see him holding on to that RB1? You see Krosky Merritt? I mean, even though we're looking at him as a very limited contributor, do you see when you're talking to like Big Doug's saying he's going to be starter by the middle of the year. Of course,
I think when it comes to the B-Rob discussion, I think it's a difference between wanting to upgrade and wanting to cut somebody, right? And sometimes as fans, we can dislike someone so much that we don't see any value in them. I mean, we just want them off.
Right. Well, yeah. Right? You only remember the last mistake you saw, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, and even when you think about that, like he was really good in the Lions game.
Yes, he was.
Like, let's not have that conversation. Right?
And he's an excellent pass catcher and the ball in space. He makes great plays in space.
Right. And he showed that. And he had what? Was it $799? I think. Yeah, I think he had.
It was it was about 800 yards. 800 yards.
He missed 2 games. Rushing yards. He missed 3 games.
3 games.
And he was hurt in like 2 or 3 of those. And 2 of the 3 games, he came out in like the first half. So you got, and then he got, I think, got like 950 some all-purpose yards. Missing 3 games and only playing like a quarter or 2 in the other 2 games. So when you look at his production and you actually look at his production and you match it up with other running backs in a similar type of role, because him and Eckler both, they got over 2,200 all-purpose yards, which are RB1 and RB2, right?
There you go.
So when you look at someone like David Montgomery, because a lot of people look at our offense, hey, we high octane like the Chargers and the Lions. When you look at those running backs, look at him and David Montgomery. Those of you that's watching, look at David Montgomery's stats and put him up against B-Rob. Right. And then when they have the show the next time they have the show, put in the comments what you think about B-Rob. You're going to be surprised.
Okay. There you go.
I got another good on the show. I got another good question by Lord Tewksbury. Let me put that up there.
You have to say it as if Lord Tewksbury were in the room. Come on.
We all know that there is a second-year slump for most players. Who would a surprise player have in this slump?
Before we go there, I did have one closing comment I want to make on the running back thing and bring up a surprise cut. Given all that we've just discussed, Austin Eckler cannot stay healthy for a season to save his life. He's electric when he's got the ball until he fumbles it in the NFC Championship game. We just remember the last mistake we saw. And so is it possible that he could be a guy that they could say, look, we're really only expecting 7 games out of you. It's about what we can get, but we can get more out of this guy or these guys. What do you think? Am I off base?
I think Austin Eckler, the talent and what this offense is like when he's on the field is too precious to cut right now, because they don't have someone. I mean, McNichols played okay with it for him.
Could Bill be that guy?
For a couple games? I don't know, because Bill doesn't. We haven't seen any evidence that he can catch the ball out of the backfield or do anything close to what Eckler does. I just think Eckler's too valuable. Even if we only get him for half the season, it's an important half the season.
All right.
Who's returning kicks too?
Well, you got a plethora of people you can pick there.
Yeah, I don't see him returning kicks anymore this year. I don't see that happen. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think they're gonna try to protect him. I think Luke McCaffrey did a hell of a job towards the end of the season of returning kicks, and then they got Lane back there. He's going to be a primary punt returner. I'm sure he can return some kicks too. Also McNichols as well, if he winds up making the team.
Yeah. All right. So who would be a surprise player? Lord Tewksbury asks, who would be a surprise player if I having this slump? Now, Scott,
we're talking about a surprise. Like, you'd be very surprised if he had a slump.
I'd be very surprised if Jaden Daniels had a second-year slump. That would be a surprise.
That's what
we got to stop with the we're not even going there. We're not even going to put that. I mean, that shade on that. I'd say Sanders still. I'd be shocked if there was a slump from Sanders still.
Yeah, I mean, a shocker would second year slump. See, that's tough because
that mostly happens on offense, and it usually is reserved for quarterbacks. Usually that's bad for quarterbacks.
Who's a rookie last year? Luke McCaffrey's probably not going to get a lot of game time.
If he gets a second year slump, the dude's going to end up.
What about Brandon Coleman?
Good shout.
What about Brandon Coleman?
Good shout.
Where in the world is this comment so I can take it down off of there?
It's off. It's off.
I already took it down.
There you go. All right. So any of you all that are over there on YouTube over there on Twitter or X or Facebook or wherever the hell you happen to be watching this, come on over here to YouTube. You can stop in. You can chat with James. You can chat with me. You can chat with Jesse. You can chat with Deuce over here. You can chat with Lord Scottington of the Royal Barrow, and Scott will speak back to you, and he'll do it politely. I swear, you can call him practically anything.
Don't forget about Lord Tewksbury.
Lord Tewksbury is in the chat. Come on over here, join us. We're going to have some fun in a few minutes, and I don't know how much fun it'll be, but it's always at least a little bit of fun. So, all right.
I want to apologize too. For the comments. I usually am on the computer and I'm on my phone, so I can't keep up with the comments as easily as I have been. So, Scotty, if you can do that.
Yeah, I've got it, mate. It's all good.
Misspell a few words. They won't know the difference.
I write it in proper English. You see, I use an O in color.
He does. He writes in proper English the one time that he's written for the website so far, and I can't say anything because I've only written for the website once so far as well. By the way, didn't you know we had a website? This is the time for promotion, I suppose. BleedingBurgundy.com is where you can find all of our interesting content, as if you're not watching it right now, enthralled and enjoying yourself. Look, I know some of you have already put on your pajamas, you've eaten dinner, you've washed behind your ears, you're ready for bed, but you got to have your Bleeding Burgundy podcast first. We appreciate you. Yam, I'm talking to you. So, Sandra still as a second-year slump. it's kind of like I said, it's kind of hard to put that on defensive guys unless they're defensive guys that are like pass rushers that have 15 sacks as a rookie and come back and have 6. As a pass defender back there, I wouldn't even put him in the category for something like that because there's a million reasons why it could happen. I would say
I threw a name out there because that's basically all we had between him, Daniels, and Brandon Coleman that played serious time last year. Meaningful snaps.
Dude, can you think of anybody?
Yeah, this whole thing is it's a whole conversation for me. But I really can't think of anyone. Really, I mean, what if it's a coach? Right? What if it's
sure? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's a good point.
I don't know. Like I just have this thing about slump because I think that word is the wrong word that's being used.
Overused.
It's like
CJ Stroud. Everybody thinks he had a sophomore slump, and he didn't.
No, but
there's so many mitigating circumstances around that, and they still made the freaking playoffs. So how can you really, how can you really say that he had a slump?
You can't say he does.
Their offensive line was terrible.
I will say this because I used to say this all the time. Watch out for the sophomore slump. And I had some people from my other podcast from the past come back to me and ask me how I thought about it now that my rookie quarterback is coming into it. And it depends on the player. Not every player is susceptible to it. And it depends on the offense and what kind of offense that they run that can lead them to something like that. If you've got a stand-up, straight back up quarterback that you can read tendencies of, you can create a sophomore slump because the number one, what's the first law of football? Anybody? Offense innovates. Defense
reacts.
Defense adapts, not reacts. They adapt.
Same thing. Same thing.
They fix that shit. All right. When you look at over the history of football, the innovations that offense has created to try to stay ahead of what defense can do, it's like 10-1. The defense is just the biggest thing that they've done, I think, over the last 30 years is the zone blitz. And the offense is still like, okay, well, we're going to just try another variation of the West Coast offense and try to get past you. We're going to change all the rules so we can get past you. But no, defense rules this game.
Let me ask this question. I'll start with Deuce.
Because I completely forgot what's more likely?
What's more likely? We see a progression from Jaden this year or a regression from Jaden this year. And when I say regression, I'm not saying like he's going to be like crappy. I'm talking about you take into account our schedule and the defenses that we play and everything. Do we think he'll have a better year stats wise, or say a tick down from his stats?
So like if we look at the numbers, if we really look at Jaden's numbers, what number was so out of this world that were better than anything you've ever seen before? Besides completion percentage.
That was the one I was going to
pick. Was the yards? Was the touchdowns? Rushing touchdowns?
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Right.
Nothing crazy at all.
It was across the board.
Right. It's nothing like he wasn't even leading in a lot of those categories as far as last year's rookies and rookies all time. Mm-hmm. So, but what we've seen from him, there's no actual metric for it. Right? To say, he's going to get better, he's going to get worse. Because what he did as far as numbers, he didn't do nothing like insane.
He was just
as far as metrics. Exactly. So like when people say sophomore slump, right? A sophomore slump is a severe fall off from something, right? And the only way for you to know that it's an actual slump is for the following year, was he able to get back to what he did the first year? That's the only way for you to say something was a slump. Otherwise, you're just not good.
That's right.
RG3. He didn't have a slump, right? He wasn't good.
Yeah.
And a lot of these quarterbacks,
he was a one-trick pony.
And a lot of quarterbacks that have good years and then they have bad years, they're just not good. It's not a slump. That's why I always ask people, name me a quarterback that had a slump. And before you name it, give me what you mean by slump. Just like Jesse was saying about CJ Stroud, right? The completion percentage was 2% less than last year. His quarterback rating was up. His yards was up, right? His touch, I think his interceptions went up a tad, like maybe 4 or 5. I forgot exactly what it was. But when you look at his numbers side by side from last year to this year, a lot of those numbers are actually better. So how can he have a slump by also winning a playoff game with no number 1 wide receiver?
Dude, his wide receivers got absolutely destroyed. They weren't like hurt.
And his O-line was horrible.
They were like Legos that got dropped from the 10th floor.
And a lot of people that throw this nonsense out, they're casual fans. They don't look deep into it. They see the record and they're like, well, he wasn't as good as he was the previous year. So,
sometimes that's real.
Jaden's going to be the same thing. Jaden's going to have a sophomore slump. Look at CJ Stroud. Okay.
I see that. Sophomore slump just means you're not good. And that's it, because it continues. It'll continue on beyond that.
Yeah, he's just not good. But like, we could actually have less wins and Jaden could actually be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that 100%, and I think that's going to happen. That's my prediction of the season. We're going to have a few less wins, but I think the team is going to grow. Going to Lord Tewksbury's question with the recent O-line acquisitions, did the team do enough to improve it? And this is an area where I think our team is going to grow exponentially. Not only with the Tunsil trade, but bringing Josh Connolly Jr. in, that just adds a whole, that's 2 players that are going to get knocked out of the offensive line that was starters the year before. That's going to provide some excellent depth to the team. That is absolutely, they did enough to improve it. And they're going to keep on year after year.
Yeah, I've just put it in
it's
there.
The word of the day.
Back saying Herbig
exponentially, yes.
Herbig is a good acquisition who started at centre, over he's got 64 starts under his belt, not just at centre but at right guard as well. Then you're looking at people who let's take Trent Scott, for example. Played okay when he came in, did an exceptional job against the Lions in a championship game when Sam Cosmi goes down. That's now depth that you've got in this offensive line. Both of your offensive linemen who were tackles are probably going to be guards, starting guards now. If you think Coleman will probably go left, you'd hope that Connolly could be a starter, and then you have Algretti, who's who didn't let anybody down. He is now a backup as well.
I don't know about that there, Bubba.
Podcast in the past was all
And what I'm saying there is, if you look at what we had last year in comparison, and even the year before that, we're not scratching around the surface going, who the hell have we got playing as backup here? You're not looking going, I don't know who this guy. I've never heard of this guy.
What's the certainty that we're going to have Coleman at left guard? Why wouldn't
I genuinely think I think he's going to be a left guard. He played there for 2 years for TCU. He is good enough to play at that position. I think he's actually going to be better at left guard.
He is, but I think he's good enough to play right tackle as well, and I think Connolly Jr. is going to start off at guard.
All right,
my opinion.
Going back to
and eventually he's going to move to tackle, but I think in the beginning Connolly's going to be starting off at guard.
Going back to the good Lord Tewksbury's question, surprise cuts. Do we see any in the wide receiver room?
Oof. Well, yeah, you could. Gallup, I don't know about surprise. It's going to be tough.
What's McCaffrey looking at? They drafted a guy.
Oh, he's going to make the team. He's making the team.
Yeah, as long as
they're not giving up on him now. They're not going to give up on him yet. You know.
Michael
you could say Gallup. Would Gallup be a surprise cut?
Gallup didn't. I wouldn't say it would be a surprise. Gallup didn't play last year, and he also, from what I was reading from Zach Selby, that he didn't really look too good. He had a couple of balls popped up that got intercepted.
Balling doing slant routes.
Yeah. So things like that, that'll lead Gallup to just probably call it quits on his own.
I think what Adam Peters has done in these 2 off seasons, just like. You really can't pick anybody and say, yeah, they're going to get cut because they fit almost. I don't know if that makes sense. The roster seems like it's really starting to mold and come together. Well. Yeah, you don't have those players like we talked about earlier, like, there's players that are on the fence. Forrest could make it or he could not make it. There might be 2 spots, 3 spots maybe total on this whole team that someone's fighting for.
I might make the team. I might not make the team. Forrest says.
Might not.
He might not make the team. All right, so I will say
the question a bit.
I mean, think about it. Go through the position groups in your head, and other than probably a battle at safety, and that's not even for being on the team. That's for starting position. Where's the battles at? Where's that position? Like, hey, this guy might not make the team. I mean, other than maybe a wide receiver at the very bottom end of the roster when Gallup and Osborne and running back, but none of them would be surprised, if
what about
even
the tight end room?
McNichols got cut. I think the tight end room's set. I think the question is going to be for the tight ends is, are they going to keep 3 or 4 of them?
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's different in June to try to have a podcast to talk about things when most you can say is I think every position is set. I think everybody that I know is making the team. However, that will not stop us as fans and as podcasters from trying to discern from this what we can. And as a result of that, I've come up with this week's top 10.
Okay.
Let's see here. This week's top 10.
Oh, shit.
Here it is. Where are we? Is that it? Oh, that's not it. That's
No.
not
Nope.
it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. There we are. Over there. Okay. Top 10 things fans learn from OTAs and minicamp. Top 10 things. Number 10. 100% fully accurate assessment of the Super Bowl potential of the team based on 10 or 11 4-second home phone videos of people practicing in shorts. Would you agree with that or not?
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It's kind of what I thought. All right. Number 9. Nothing. But they sure as hell will pretend number 10 is true. Okay. You would think that probably would leave nothing left to talk about. But no, we have 10 things to go through here. Number 8. Which players to argue about in between tiresome posts about the name coming back. Jesus Christ, are these people
I know. Good gracious.
ever go away? Holy fucking shit. I tell you what, next year, when we're all sitting here going, God, that was Super Bowl was fun. Then you're going to be sitting over there going, I didn't watch it. I ain't going to watch it. God dang it ain't Redskins. I ain't watching nothing. All right, number 7. Every player on every team thinks the team is looking great, and they're just glad to be there, trying to be their best, getting better, and competing every day. So,
Everybody's got that. Every player's got that quote memorized.
dude, that's why when you tell me you want to have players on the show, I'm like, for what? The fuck? You know what? They're going to listen to me for 5 seconds, and they're going to be like, somebody get me the fuck off of here before I start talking like I want to. So that's not going to work. All right, number 6. Let's see. Number 6. Number 7 is either 100% true or 100% false, and both serve to reinforce the absolute belief in number 10. Number 10, of course, is a 100% fully accurate assessment of the Super Bowl potential of the team based on 10 or 11 4-second cell phone videos of people practicing in shorts. All right. Top 10 things that people can learn from OTAs and minicamp. Number 5, manscapers and hymns get small bump in sales thanks to thousands of podcasters rushing to the microphones to talk about number 7 and how it solidifies number 10. In case you forgot number 7 and number 10. All right, number 4, balls flying in slow motion through the air always look like a Hall of Famer threw them unless they don't, in which case the guy who threw it completely sucks and needs to be cut unless you use your star quarterback, and then it's just practice. I would agree with that. Number 3, top 10 things fans can learn from OTAs and minicamp. If it's your starter who isn't a star, see number 10. Number 10. Okay. All right, number 2. If it is your star quarterback, it convinces everyone else of their version of number 10. I'm listening to Coach Lombard now talk about how goddamn they aren't going to suck. All right, number 2. Where are we with number 2?
God.
I know. That dude's fun. All right, number 2. If it's your star quarterback, it convinces everyone else of their version of number 10. And the number 1 thing that you can learn from minicamp and OTAs is Aaron Rodgers is a self-absorbed dickhead.
That's so true.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter where he is a self-absorbed dickhead. All right, so I'm glad everybody had a good time with our top 10 list of the week. If you have any ideas for a top 10 list?
You're absolutely right. That's Key and Pillow so fucking funny.
Which one? So if you have any ideas what you'd like to see a top 10 about, please go ahead and drop us a line at bleedingburgundypodcast@gmail.com. That's right. bleedingburgundypodcast@gmail.com. I don't have any emails to read today because you people have been negligent in emailing us at bleedingburgundypodcast@gmail.com. Anyway, this top 10 list was brought to you by Red Zone in the Lab, who's got a really nifty store where you can get all kinds of cool hats that fit on. They fit practically every way you want to wear them. What's your store there, Deuce? Go ahead and plug it up.
Oh man, rzinalab.com.
There you go. That's where I got this hat, and I'm going to tell you what. I know this sounds funky, but I don't look like I have a big head. I don't think I have a big head, but it's hard for me to find baseball caps that fucking fit. And this one fit. I was like so happy. I was so happy. I wanted to go over and ask you out, but I know you're married, so I said nah. And then I said, well, I'm married, and I don't think either one of us are gay, so it probably wouldn't work out. It's a great hat.
They got a new commercial for the hats right there.
There you go.
There you go.
We're not gay, but it's a great hat.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So right now we've had mini camp is going on right now, right? Because I get confused as to what they are. Because mini camp is basically just sitting around in the classroom.
Well, no, it's just OTAs. Mini camp is what, next week or in 2 weeks? That's the mandatory. That's when everybody's got to come. So
I thought a friend of mine gave me tickets to mini camp once. It was not what I thought it was. Just a bunch of little people walking around like having a convention. I was like, geez, I feel like an NBA player.
Is this not the annual training camp starting soon? Is this not the annual, like, we're getting close to Jessy saw Bigfoot moment again?
Oh no,
that's in August.
July,
or late July and August.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, we'll mark that date once again. Juice, you do know the story of Tamara
I
Hemingway.
do not know the story.
Oh my goodness. Jessy accidentally got a peek behind the curtain, and Tamara Hemingway was getting out of the hot tub, and it scared our friend here. It frightened him. Jessy was ready to call in the army. Holy shit!
Y'all can't see it, but my hands are out of the camera.
Jessy was like, my God, they let that out. My God!
I think his parents are proud. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what.
So much so that I named my team Hemingway's, my fantasy team Hemingway's proud parents, because we were in the VIP section, and they usually close it off when they have the players, that are getting out and getting dressed. Well, for some reason, I got stuck. I got stuck in the middle. I got stuck in the middle of the walkway, and they closed down both sides. So I'm like this, and I just turn around, and I'm like, holy shit.
You got
elephant dong
walkway.
That shouldn't even be legal. Jesus.
That's why Mr. Hemingway has a standing invitation to come on this podcast from wherever you are working for UPS or Smith Concrete or whoever you're working for these days.
Smith Concrete. I'm gonna write that down. Smith Concrete.
At least you took something from this podcast, Deuce.
You are always welcome to come on this, because you know what? Tamara Hemingway will not sit here and answer our questions like, I'm just glad to be here. He'd be like, look, yeah, I got the biggest one he ever saw. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Well, this podcast has gone right down the drain, and we're only 48 minutes into it. How about that? All right, so minicamp is coming up. That's where we started with this little side trek.
I think the biggest question of minicamp, and I don't even think it's really a question, is Terry McLaurin. I think he's the only player that would have sufficient enough reason not to participate. I'm sure he's going to show up, but the question is, will he participate? Kind of like, shades of 3 years ago when we went through this, and Terry was there throughout the off season and through the mandatory mini camps, but he just didn't participate. Do we think it's going to happen again?
I don't know. We did go through 3 years ago, but yeah, go ahead, Deuce.
What do you think, Deuce?
Maybe what they call it, a sit-in or whatever. I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's cool, right? They're there. I think Jade and them they have a great chemistry. And listen, like, your chemistry is not really going to get better in practice. You're not going full speed.
Right.
That's why it took them so long to kind of get acclimated last year, because like you're just not going full speed, right? So him being there would be great because he get to help out Debo, the young guys. He's terminology, be in the classroom, like all of that stuff. I think it'll be, and then Cliff is going to be starting to really start getting into implementing this new offense. So you want your stars there. So, but I still think they're going to pay him before.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it done beforehand.
You think it's going to be?
I don't want to have to talk.
Oh, I'm putting you on the spot here. It's not your money. I mean, I know you got the direct line.
Oh, no. I mean, talk about Terry not being at camp. Well,
Terry not. If Terry,
because the fans gonna go crazy about him not being.
That's the thing.
I think he gets like.
It's going to get done. It's going to get done before training camp. I just don't think it's going to get done before mini camp.
Yeah, I think he gets 33, 34, 30. I think he gets something in that range.
Whoa, really that much?
Big amount of money.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
The money moves, right? The money moves, the money increases.
Right.
You look at DK's contract. Like, I think he's going to get more than DK.
Do you really think so? Because that's where
I don't think he can.
But he's still number 3 as far as like wide receivers on like signing bonus money. Guarantees at $28 million. Like, that's he still has top 5, and I think he'll get probably like 30 something.
I think he'll get a $30 million a year extension. I think that's kind of about right there, because DK's contract and his output is kind of almost mirroring Terry's. Terry's got more touchdowns last year by
you got to remember though, DK is younger. He's 3 years younger than Terry.
That's the point. He's 20. Terry's 30 during training camp.
Yeah, but
I'm thinking 28, 29.
Yeah, but if you produce
28, 29.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
If you produce in this league, like the age thing, I don't think.
I agree.
It matters as much. And then, like with the whole DK thing, and when you think about Terry, like Terry being here and being who he is, that can get him $2 or $3 million.
Look, I agree with you. I don't think it matters as much just to say that 30 is this cutoff point. When Terry hasn't been injured, his legs are perfectly fine. If you keep yourself in shape, you can play for a long time. And I'm not talking like Jerry Rice long time, although that puts it on the table. And in terms of him not showing up for minicamp, I think that the problem would be the distraction of it. And I think that would be caused by media, because it would be the only thing that they could find to pick at. But I think that Terry's not.
That's why he'll be. That's why Terry will be there. But I don't think he's going to. I don't think he'll participate. I think he'll be there.
Terry would ever put himself above the team, even if it was something like that where it's a contract situation. No. Terry's not going to put himself above the team. He might not participate, like you said, but he's not going to. He's not going to do anything to try to cause any kind of distraction to disrupt what might be building. Other players they would selfish. Now, if you had, all right, let's say we're here at the schoolyard. Okay, we're looking down. I'm Longfields Elementary. I'm looking at the fucking bricks over there, and I'm picking between DK Metcalf and Terry McLaurin. Which one are you picking, Scott?
Terry every time. It's not even a question.
Who are you picking? Knowing all you do right now, Terry's 30 and DK's 28 or whatever. All the things we're talking about that separate them. Yeah, who are you picking, DK or Terry?
I'm sorry. 20. You don't think he's getting $22 million a year?
Who is?
I mean, that's what he got in the comment.
No, he's saying 3 years.
That's $32 million. That's $32 million a year.
No, he douches.
3 years, 32.
3 years.
No, 3
68.
years. 68. That's $22 million.
That's 22 and a half. That's 22.
Oh shit.
22-30.
That's what I was like.
Yeah,
right.
even
He's saying that's his
even
current
I think he's
contract.
getting more than that.
Oh, that's his current contract.
That's
Gotcha.
his
Current
okay.
contract, yeah.
I would say 30 is a significant raise.
Yeah. So I think when it comes, I think okay. So Terry and DK, I think those are two totally different wide receivers.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we're sitting here talking about them in terms of payment, right? So if you're picking, right, if you to me, the prime factor towards making a payment is what can you do for me for the future, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about DK's a little bit younger, et cetera, et cetera. Their numbers are almost close together, like Scott says.
3 years is big, John. 3 years is big.
Knowing what you know, which one?
Yeah, for me, I think it depends on scheme fit. DK, I like DK, but I'm not too impressed with the
he can be a diva,
like so. And we think about Terry, what he's done and what he was able to do last year. Like we continue to say, if you give him a quarterback, you're going to see him. Right? I think you're going to get an even better Terry next year, and I think you could get 2 great years out of Terry McLaurin. So I'm taking Terry McLaurin.
I agree. So Scotty, what do you say to these people? That are aside from the 30, they go, all right, well let's see him prove it now. Okay, you say to him, all right, yeah, he's had a great year with a great quarterback, but okay, let's see him do it again. What do you say to them?
He probably will do it again. And the thing is, like, I look at this and say, yeah, I'd give him a 60 million extension. I'd do it fully guaranteed as well. I think it's worth it for 2 years. I think 2 years is fine. You play on the final year of your deal, and then you've got 2 more years extension on top of that. That gives you 3. So then by the time you're looking at, he's 33 years old, and then the legs still haven't dropped off potentially.
Right.
Then.
Right now,
but we don't know that though. Like listen, we gotta really look at this. There is and Terry may be in that box. Small amount of players that are skill positions that still have their legs after 30 years old. There's not many of them. You can go down the list. There is not many at all. And I really do honestly think the management, they're taking this into consideration. That's why I don't see Terry getting $33 million a year. I would be flabbergasted if he got that much. I don't see it. I don't see him getting over 30, to be honest with you.
Tell you what, he's got some toilet paper with word of the day on it.
He is going to be, you want to give a wide receiver. And now listen, I love Terry to death. Do not get me wrong about this. And I get cussed out all the time, but I'm being a realist about Terry. We put Terry up on a pedestal and, think he's a top 5 receiver. And we got to be, he is a top 1 person. Okay. And he's a top 1 teammate, second to nobody in the fucking league. I'd have him marry my daughter in a fucking instant, hands down.
Too late. He's married.
But if we're really, if we're being honest, even this year, yeah, he had an uptick in touchdowns. That's quarterback too, right there. But look at his yardage. Look at his catches. Look at his production. It's around the same from since he became a rookie. Now you got to adjust him being 30 years old with the market value. The market value is what CeeDee Lamb, and I'm taking CeeDee Lamb for instance because maybe CeeDee's a little bit better, but they're still comparable. What did he get? 34 million. CeeDee's 26 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, I honestly think age
Jones.
Definitely 100% makes a fucking difference.
He's got a 12-inch pecker, for God's sakes. That's what I paid him for. I know he can play.
Age definitely plays a role in this negotiation, and if we're really being honest, and I know we love Terry, we love freaking Terry, a top 10 to top 15 receiver, in the league, is not going to get much more than $30 million a year.
Let's look at it here. Let's look at it here. I'm looking at the contracts in front of me. So T. Higgins just got paid. He got 28 point. He's on 28.7.
And his first name is only a letter. Yeah. So
Ayuk is on 30. Tyreek Hill is on 30. Amon-Ra St. Brown is on 30. Then you're into AJ Brown, 32. Metcalf,
Ayuk was worth it until he got injured, though, John.
Yeah.
When he got his contract, Ayuk was almost a top 5 receiver. Let's be real about that.
Almost the top 5 receiver might be 40.
Metcalf's on almost 33. CD Lamb's on 34. Justin Jefferson's 35, and Jamar Chase is on 40.
All right. Well, he's not in
Yes,
Jefferson's league. However,
he's not in the
again. Jefferson disappeared last year for.
But I suppose the market, as Deuce mentioned in his point, the market dictates the market. And
Right.
That's why I'm not saying 25 million, which is, that's why you got to bump them up to 30. But I'm saying 28.5 million. I'm going to say 28.5 million, 3 years. With a nice big old signing bonus.
He's making 28 this year, right, Scotty?
Correct, yeah.
Like, he's not going to do 28 and a half. There's no way.
No.
He's making 28 without even a deal.
Right.
Because that's the way his contract. That's the way his contract was set up. He was made like his AAV was like 23, and then he got bumped for the last year of his contract.
Yeah, but I don't think he has any more guaranteed money. Like contracts move.
Yeah.
Right. The money increases. Like the NFL
this
makes
year's
money every
this year's
other year.
signing next year is just
right. So like
Terry's contract was backloaded. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So he has a void year in 2026.
Yeah, the void year is the next year.
It's just a signing bonus.
This is really money coming up. So like
Deuce is on 25.5.
Yeah, so Chase is making 40 million this year.
Right.
Like
but
30 million this year is like 23 million 2 years.
2 years ago, right? Yeah. Right.
I think we got to look at the AAV, not year to year salary though. That's kind of what I'm getting at. His average
There's no mileage
average salary. They could front load it, and his first year he can get like 35 million, and then the second year get like 20 or 30 million, and then his third year could be go down. They could front load the contract as well, but that average is what I'm talking about, and I think that average should not be more than 30 million.
He's on 20. He's on 25.5 this year, Deuce.
And the signing bonus matters more than.
Because that's cash in hand.
Of course,
that's cash in hand.
Yeah, and I think he'll get a good hefty signing bonus because he gets that up front. And
so I'd rather go the other way to you, Jesse. I'd rather say get the cap lower this year and pay him a higher signing bonus and say, look, get the cap lower this year because you need the money next year and you need the money this year too because we still have an issue at edge. What are we doing?
I still would like them to have an out.
The cap is over $250 million. All right, we're talking in terms of that. For when you look at the salary cap and how you're supposed to manage a team in the salary cap era, is you get your core players. These are the guys we can win with, regardless of who we put around him. Which is why the quarterback is so important. And this might be 5 to 10 maybe guys on your team, and they are going to take 60 to 70% of the salary cap, and then everybody else gets the rest. Terry's one of those.
Remember,
guys.
John.
And hold on a minute. I've been waiting here. The fact
he's not going to play 5 to 10 years.
I don't care. It doesn't make any difference about 5 to 10 years. And that's my point. When we're talking long term now, that's 3 years. You telling me with no mileage on him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has not missed time to injury.
And you got to also think this. How many 1 year contracts that we got?
Whatever.
How many 1 year contracts do we have?
How many times you tell me by the time Terry McLaurin is 33, he's not still going to be a very productive wide receiver. The guy has not been injured.
I would bet against it. Yeah. I would bet against it. I would bet against that.
Three against one. To Scotty, like we want to. We have 20. I think it's $21 million of cap space. What we have right now, right? So whatever deal you do for Terry, that's going to that
won't start till next year because it's an extension. Right? It's going to
But what I'm saying is, it's the cap is going to lower even more because we're going to convert a lot of
absolutely
into the signing bonus. So it's going to convert this year. So my thing is, Scotty, like front load the money, right? Because Jaden is coming up in 2-3 years, right? So I don't want those bigger contracts down. So instead of front load the money for Terry, give him the signing bonus or whatever. But whatever it looks like Jesse likes the AAV, it's going to be plus 30. I think it's going to be like 33.
He's earned it. And I don't see any signs of him breaking down. And we're talking
Not
2
yet,
years.
but you can't
okay.
guarantee that though, man.
Well, no, but you can't guarantee
You
anything.
can't.
You can't tell me that a guy who's never played a snap in the NFL won't go out and get hurt on his first play. We stood there in the stands, you and me, and watched freaking.
I am so glad these general managers make decisions, not fans.
Well, I mean, obviously, we are a fan
if you're like
podcast.
Scotty, we'd be in cap hell every freaking off season.
As we all know. And the other side of that is that we are happily stupid. We love talking about this crap, and we've managed to fill up over 60 minutes of talking about nothing. We did it, gentlemen. That's amazing. Look, you can't tell me that with the
I don't think that's right, Deluxe.
There's
the AAV is the guaranteed money, average annual value. That's the guaranteed money. That's what's coming off your cap, and that's what matters.
Am I wrong? He has not had any significant injuries. I know that, but he hasn't missed. Has he even missed a game other than just?
You better knock on wood.
Soreness?
Yeah,
Look,
he's missed a couple games.
What I'm saying is, he doesn't have any mileage on the tires. All right, you're telling me in 2 years, unless a significant injury happens, which can happen to any player at any time, if he doesn't get hurt in 2 years, I don't think he's lost much. I don't think there's much step lost there. That guy's got a work ethic like crazy.
And AAV, that's total value of the contract, Jesse. I mean, you can double check, but he's right. That's total value of the contract. That's
but that's that's going to be coming off the cap regardless.
No, not the AAV, because the AAV could be $33 million. That's not coming off the cap.
I want Terry to retire here. I want Terry to retire here. None of this Art Monk, I'm going to the Jets for a while. Gary Clark, I'm going to be a Tampa.
I'll tell you what, he ain't going to be here messing with Jesse, giving him only $500,000 more.
I'll tell you what, this is why we don't have players on the show, Jesse. We'll just piss them off. They'll end up in the San Diego wondering where the Chargers went.
I just had a look there. Terry's missed 2 games in his entire career. Both were in 2020 under concussion protocol.
There you go.
That's it.
The only thing that's been damaged is his brain. He can play forever.
But yeah, Deuce, to that point, Deuce, he is on 25.5 this year, not 29.
25.5.
Yeah, so
I'm going to be in the very small minority, but if he gets like a $34 million contract, I'm going to be disappointed in the front office. And I know I'll take the heat. I'll be in the minority, but I think that's way too goddamn much money. He's not a Justin Jefferson. He's not a Chase.
Look,
he is a very, very damn good wide receiver 1, but he should not garner top 5 market money. Sorry, not being a 30-year-old receiver.
Let me ask you this, Jesse. Let me ask you this real quick.
If he was 25, then yes.
Do you think the best players in the league make the most money?
No.
Not always.
Hell no. Kirk Cousins makes the most.
Not always.
It's whoever's next. Like it's like by tiers. If you're in that tier, you're going to get paid more than whoever else is in that tier. Rather,
sure. But if for those thinking that age doesn't matter, I'm sorry, you guys are wrong.
He's not 35.
I think he's 30, and he's a skilled position player.
But he doesn't have any injuries. No scar tissues built up.
That don't make a difference. His body can start. His body can start breaking down at any time, and we know damn well that Terry has played through injuries every single year.
Look, getting hurt's one thing. Breaking down, no, I don't see that. This dude's a world-class athlete, and
then sign him for 10 years. Then
no, it's not what I want to know.
Put a 10-year contract on him.
There's a big difference between 40 and 30. We're talking between 30 and 33. I mean, good God, holy shit! Well, I feel like here's why I'm stuck.
Deuce, do you want to do a 10-8 round here, or is it just? Is it a 10-8 round here, Deuce? And do we need to stop this fight? I mean, what's going on here? Referees.
I know I'm in the minority. But I'm sorry. I love Terry, but I don't put him in the elite category, and I don't think he should get paid elite money.
I mean, and you know, like to your point, I think how old was Kittle? Ain't Kittle like the highest paid tight end now? I think he's.
That's a tight end, though. That's
his haircut I've ever seen. What the hell is
that's
that
true.
on his head? I mean, seriously, if a guy like that with a haircut like that walked in to sign a contract or would want you to give him $33 million, are you taking that pen away from him or what?
George Kill's 31, Deuce.
Yeah, I knew he's
tight end, they take more damage. But
I mean, look at the money though. He's the highest paid. Like, do you think he's the best tight end in the league?
Not anymore.
Probably very, very, very close to it.
Like
When you
he's
look
in that tier. Like he's in that tier. And whoever else is next in that tier, they're going to get paid more.
When you look at actual dollars paid every year, who gets the actual money, who's actually pulling in dollars, and I'm not talking about what their contract says, who actually got what they got this year, you are always amazed at the names on there. I'm right now not in the mood to go Google anything, but
look, wait, who was it? What's his name? Freaking De'Ami Brown.
De'Ami Brown.
10 mil.
John wanted to sign him for like $8 million. I would have re-signed him for like $2 million. He wound up getting $10 million in freaking
by all accounts,
Jacksonville.
Because they're watching minicamp and OTAs, and of course that means they're going to the Super
Bowl. Refer to number 10.
Have you got Karen a De'Ami Brown jersey yet?
No, she's got a Travis Hunter one, which I've just bought, and for Christmas she got a Brian Thomas Jr. jersey. So, and she obviously has a T-Law jersey, but she doesn't wear that anymore.
Those are two good jerseys
because she doesn't like him anymore.
I made the mistake of buying a Jaden Daniels jersey because my luck with jerseys are horrible. But that white on white jersey is so fucking fire that I had to get it.
Yeah,
man. I didn't see it. It was in a and it's but a real one. It's not one of them like cheap screen print ones. It's NFL. So, but I've never seen them being sold before. That shit's tight.
It's not from Temu.
It's not a Temu jersey. No.
I got a Tunsil jersy, which I was quite chuffed with.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
But every time I get a jersey, that's why I've been afraid to get like a Terry jersey. I was afraid to get a freaking any really good player. Last one I got was Chase Young. And we saw how that went. And then I got, a Dwayne Haskins. I got I got a Josh Norman jersey. And then also got RG3 jersey. Every time I get a freaking jersey, the next year they go to shit. So,
Jesse, how about this? How about tied to the old owner?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You know what? That thought went through my head. That's why I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it. And I got it.
That's right.
Jaden might break my vow of not buying jerseys. Anybody want to guess the last new jersey for the new team, the new guy that I had? Because I said they don't stay here long enough. They're not here. I had a Champ Bailey jersey.
I reckon it's Jumpy Gathers.
No.
Jumpy Gathers.
Gathers. Like, Jumpy Gathers. You know who Jumpy Gathers is, right?
Pat Rose.
No, it was Patrick Ramsey. Ooh. And after that, I decided, look, these guys don't last. I'm not buying a $250 shirt that's going to be a Bronco in 2 years.
His last purchase was a Sonny Jurgensen jersey.
I had a Mark Rippon jersey when I was young.
Wow.
I got a Ken Harvey, and that's my last one. But I might buy a Jaden Daniels because he is.
Oh, that's the one that you wear to all the games, don't you? Your Harvey jersey.
I've worn it to 2 out of the last 5, and we've lost.
That thing looks like it's you're about to lose it to dry rot.
Dude,
that thing's old as hell.
Ken Harvey was here, 1995? Yeah.
It's older than me.
Look, he signed it. It's just worn off. He signed it on the 5 on the back. It's just worn off. The Sharpie Corporation owes me a jersey because their pen failed to work. All right. So I think that we've gone long enough. We found everything that we could possibly
I think so too.
On OTAs. We've gotten we had a good fight about something. Deuce over here, our good friend. It's always fun to talk with you, man. I swear.
Hey John, did Jesse tell you he came into space the other day?
He did. He told me he came in space the other day.
He said he really enjoyed it.
I did. And I normally don't come in spaces all that much. Sometimes I just pop in. And it was an accident. It was an accident that I came in that space, and then right away Deuce was like, "Hold on a second, Jesse's here. Get him on the mic." I'm like, "Fuck, get out. No, I'm here now."
I like the spaces. My only thing is I always see the What It Do space in the morning, mate, with the Wake and Bake space with Glenn. And for one, I am on a work computer and I'm at work. And two, for one, I don't want the guy who runs the IT going, what's he doing in a Wake and Bake first thing in the morning every day? You know. And second thing is, you know, I want to talk, but I can't. I got to work. So I listen sometimes, but not very often. Although if I got something to talk about during the season, I like to come in. And what I said to you the other day, probably one like you ever want to talk to
that was
Jerry
like the first
or anybody. Give me a
the first space I went into. Like as soon as I went in, I didn't hear any arguing. Like usually when I pop into spaces, it's nothing but arguments. I'm like, I can't even understand what anybody's saying. That's the reasons why I don't go into spaces, because too many people talk over each other, and half the time they're cussing each other out or arguing and calling them fucking stupid or whatever. But no, I had a good time and I appreciate it.
I come from this barbershop online.
It is. I come from Suitland High School, right? I was in Forestville when I was young. And I come in there sometime. Yeah, that's where I come from. And what we used to do for fun, other than talk sports, was sit around and try to crack each other, you know, make sure they cry before they leave. And dude, I was in there one time and I just listened to y'all cracking on. I'm not even going to say names or nothing like that, and I can't participate anymore because, you know, it's a different world now. And if I participate, they're like, well, who the hell are you? And it's like this. When I'm on your show and they go, dude, you're one of us, it cracks me up because it's like, yeah, you I grew up and that's where I live. Yeah. So, you know, I listen to when y'all are cracking and I feel so like, oh, man, I want to just join in. I got some jokes here and I just want to throw them at somebody, but it's fun. It is fun. Anyway, RZ in the lab to go get your nifty gear and apparel, man. I tell you what, it fits and it's badass. I like it a lot. And let's see, what else we got going on? Anything we got going on? Deuce, when's your next opportunity that you're going to be out there for people to see you?
So I don't know when the next media availability, but I'm tomorrow. I'll be doing a recap of OTAs.
Got your pop-up shop coming up anywhere?
Yeah, nah, not yet. But
also, if you're this side of the pond, please listen to Red Zone in the UK that happens on a game day. It is a fantastic show with Scouse and Christian and Deuce, and a lot of people over this side of the pond do actually tune in and listen to it, mate. So, well, thank you for doing that. Appreciate it a lot. I know it's at stupid o'clock for you in the morning most of the time, but
we moved from it was at 5:30. I was like, nah, we got to do something better.
Good for you. You did you see Scouse at the draft?
Yeah, I saw both of them.
With the 29th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Josh Conerly Jr., tackle, Oregon. Do we like him? We do. We like him. Yeah. Josh Conerly. Kim.
Scott's like, who's that?
All right.
You did him dirty there, man.
I did not. Wait.
Oh, man.
Try this.
That might be part of our intro in September. Send me that, John.
Oh, you're gonna hurt me now. All right, here, try this.
Like, who's that?
You can see him. You can. Sorry, I'm cracking now. You can see him in the crowd.
Joel, now back to the stage.
You can see him, right?
That's so funny.
All right. All right.
And my phone died.
All right. So while Jesse's phone is too busy downloading freaking dirty Finnish porn, we're gonna say to everybody, we will see you all next time. Later.
BleedingBurgundy.com.